Welcome to this week's EMBN Show, where it's a bit of a special, I feel, because in last week's show we talked about what to expect from the big brands, and you lot all got really involved in the comments, so we're going to use this as a forum to tell the industry what the public wants this year.
Yes, and to lead the discussion, we've got a very average downhill rider.
That's true.
Don, you are not an average
downhill
rider. No, Don was very modest in his recent video on the weekend, which we'll also talk about in this show. But Don, lots of feedback from last week's show too, right?
Well, loads of comments about what people would like to see from the industry this year, which I thought was a great idea for us to get them out there and discuss them ourselves, and there's lots to get involved with. Starting with the first one from Stuart Rathbone, who says MGUs. That was a common theme, definitely.
Yeah, MGUs are. I mean, it's been on people's minds for the last few years, and finally, Pinion delivered a usable system the last few years, and we're seeing more and more bikes. We've got the Nikolai bike, with the Simplon bike, and when you ride these bikes, they're sort of, from my perspective, I think it's the simplicity and the lack of maintenance, the fact you don't need to do as much maintenance, put it that way.
I can see that. I've got a kid's belt drive bike that has not been touched. It's ridden through mud, through everything. But also from the sort of the engineer in me is the unsprung mass and all that. It really should make your suspension work that bit better when you're moving the mass to the middle of the bike, but also taking it off that wheel. Suspension should move nicely.
Yeah, I think it's more, rather than it being about the fact that the motor and gearbox is combined, and I'm not convinced about the unsprung mass side. I think it's more about where the weight is.
Yeah, I get it.
I think, which is really important. And obviously, White are very focused on centre of gravity on e-mountain bikes. And I think the fact that I went out on the Nikolai Saturn recently, and it's like it's the silence when you're going down through rock gardens.
Yeah,
there's you can actually hear the tyres moving.
Yeah, Stuart does say about maybe something like an all-bear rise with that lower power, but with that MG would be great to lose that derailleur, the unsprung weight, but also we'd like to see the speed restrictions lifted to 20 miles per hour on this side of the pond.
Two things there actually. It's really interesting because as much as the Nikolai Saturn is a great bike, it is actually 27 kilos. I think Stuart's right. I would like to see a 22 kilo e-bike with a motor gearbox unit.
Yeah.
Which is great. On the subject of speed restrictions, I think we need to be careful what we wish for here, because I think in terms of a commuting perspective, I think the speed is too slow.
Yeah.
I saw a shocking panorama video last night on BBC, lacked a depth of information about the speeds, because you can actually have speed pedelecs which are legal to use on the road.
Yeah.
I think it makes sense. However, in terms of a trail situation, we need to protect our trail access. So having bikes which are too fast, there's a danger of us becoming linked with bikes such as Surons, right?
That is a danger, but that is an electric motorbike. I mean, this discussion's massive, but
yeah.
I would like to see a worldwide standard. So if we could go up to the same as the US, then great, and everyone's on the same playing field.
Yeah.
But whether or not we see that happen. Another one talking about weight, actually, Lena DeMarlo says more lightweight bikes with full power motors. A 23 or 25 kilogram bike is ridiculous.
Right.
Reading between the lines, that would then mean the death of SL bikes, which is bubbling underneath the surface, I think, that topic.
I think you need to be we need to be careful what we wish for again here, because to say that 23, 25 kilo bikes is ridiculous, think about it this way. If you take, say, I don't know, maybe a great example of a mountain bike is a Canyon Strive, right? 170 mil travel. That bike weighs 16 kilos.
Yeah.
Okay, 16 kilos, right. An e-mountain bike system, the motor and the battery, say you've got a 750 watt-hour battery and the controllers, all that stuff, an e-bike system is about 7 kilos, right? So a Canyon Strive On is 23 kilos.
It's on the money, yeah.
If you're trying to make these bikes lighter, there will be a compromise somewhere.
I think that's where, I've said this before, but where the Amflow compared to something bigger like my Torque, it's a trail bike and an enduro stroke downhill bike.
Yeah.
But I think that is where the definitions will sort of skew the weight with the weights.
Exactly. You know, we need bikes which are built, which are suitable for purpose. If you want a bike which is 18 to 19 kilos, it's going to be a trail bike, right?
Yeah, most probably.
Yeah.
Masijowski says, I want to see everything refined, longer range, at least equal to current full power, to end up, say, the Avanox power range on a more long travel bike. That'd be interesting, which I think we may see. In the US, the used market appears there's no limit of SL bikes on the cheap. The Kenevo is my bike of choice. I can't find anything new on the full power side, so definitely looking forward to perhaps the Forbidden with the Avanox and not the 600 watt-hour battery. There is torque.
It's rumour, isn't it?
We've seen a picture online from the Forbidden bike company owner.
Owen Pemberton does seem to be riding a bike with a DJI head unit on it. I mean, it's very exciting. But you know what? There's loads of fantastic e-mountain bikes on the market. It's just a shame that there doesn't seem to be many in this guy's area, right?
Well, yeah, second-hand SL bikes, I don't know what that market looks like, but it'd be interesting to dig into, see what people are doing with them, if they can sell them afterwards, if people want to buy them.
Exactly. Right, hindsight. User serviceability, haha, just joking, not going to happen.
I mean, I agree. I'd love to see it. I'm actually working on a video talking about this subject, basically, and it's pretty complex. But I'd love to. Imagine if we could just swap out the bottom bracket on your e-bike motor when things started going south, as you could on a mountain bike. But it's not that simple.
It's not that simple, but some brands actually do offer it, such as Polini, Italian brand Polini. You actually buy parts for those motors and you can service them yourself. I don't actually do much servicing.
It's not your problem, is it?
Not my problem, but...
Bivouac photography, sort of along the same lines, really. Efficiency and reliability over power any day.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, because I don't think we actually are quite there yet with reliability on e-mountain bikes. We've been around now, since Bosch built their first motor in 2012. It's still widely regarded as one of their finest motors, if you put better bearings in there. But yeah, reliability, I think we're still a few years off yet, aren't we?
I think so.
Yeah.
Gordon Cahill has got a shopping list, actually. He wants a wireless remote. Hello, Shimano. Yes.
Well, yeah, I guess this is referring to the fact that DJI do have wireless remotes on their system.
There's sort of no reason why they should.
It's a nice feature to have, for sure.
All e-bikes should have optional range extenders or optional battery sizes.
I think modularity, it's got to go that way, right?
Yep. Ride recording internally or much better integration with Garmin. I mean, a lot of bikes are pretty well integrated, but DJI do that very well with their SIM card in the display, and it just does go straight to your Strava straight away. It's a very nice option. What
about this next one then? Better options for fine-tuning the power modes. Really? Is this really an issue? Or the thing is, you're looking back to 2014, 15, Bosch actually had a closed system whereby you couldn't actually tinker with the outputs, and then along came the Levo. You could change the power outputs on the bike. Do you tinker with power outputs?
Occasionally. I wouldn't say I'm restricted by what is the options that are available to me now.
Yeah.
I don't see why you can't do this, to be fair. Why shouldn't you be able to do it? But for me, I'm not that bothered about it, to be honest.
Yeah, I guess. But I guess this guy's saying we need more.
Exactly, infinite. Well, it could be. Less motor noise and rattles. I can jump on that. But yeah, exactly. Why should they be noisy? It'd be nice to have everything nice and quiet.
Most of them kind of are.
They are getting there. They're all getting there, aren't they?
I think most of them are. People complained about the Gen 4 Bosch being a little bit noisy, but I always found that if you're in a rock garden, you can hear the rocks more than the sound of the motor.
But they did address it, didn't they, with the latest one?
And the latest Bosch drive unit is a very refined unit. Yeah. It's a beautiful motor to ride.
Well, I think we can all get on board with this one, the last one. More emphasis on high-quality entry-level bikes to lower entry costs.
Exactly.
No downside.
I think it's unacceptable that we're seeing, a lot of bikes 5 figures.
Yeah.
5 figures for an e-mountain bike. Although I've done some of our partner bikes. Canyon have got a Neuron CF, which is 5,100, 750 watt battery. Bosch CX motor, Great spec on it.
I've just bought a second-hand Marin Alpine Trail E2 with a brand new Shimano e-bike motor.
You just bought a second-hand
I didn't actually,
e-bike.
but it's $2,500 brand new motor.
Right.
So, like on the used market, there are bargains to be had by the looks of it, but more about that at a later date.
Interesting. Sounds like you got something up your sleeve, Don.
Maybe. Some very exciting news for us here at EMBN. We have got some new rubber to be riding on this year.
I'm literally insanely stoked about this.
Yes.
This is like fantastic news. But before we talk about our new partner, I just want to say a massive thanks to our tyre partner Pirelli from the last few years. The Scorpion tyres, I mean, fantastic tread pattern on there. The volume, the sidewalls, the compound have enabled us to ride, ever more challenging places on an e-mountain bike. But that partnership has come to an end, and we do welcome Schwalbe to the channel. And like I said, I am mega stoked about this partnership.
It feels like a shredder time of year at the moment, Steve, but we've got a full range of very exciting tyres. Taki-chan for me, please.
So, yeah, I mean, we could talk about Schwalbe tyres. I mean, I think we should maybe save it for a future show. But I mean, look at the tyres, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the sports that Schwalbe are involved in, I mean, I think one of the greatest events last year in the downhill calendar was Leger, Amaury Piron on, I think he was on Dirty Dan's. Like it was the difference between winning and losing that race.
That's right, yeah, I forgot about that.
It was the difference between winning and losing. And do you know what? I've always been a massive fan of mud tyres. I think there's a lack of mud tyres in the market at the moment. Fortunately for us, we've got the likes of the Shredder and the Dirty Dan, which I think will transform our riding.
I think an e-bike in the winter in the UK with those tyres on is the dream. It
is the dream. I'm glad you said that, because I really do believe it is the dream. I think you can ride with a good mud tyre, you can ride trails exactly like you would in the dry.
Radial tyres as well, which I've never tried out, so I'm super excited about trying out this new tyre construction that is supposed to give really good sort of compliance with pretty low pressures as well. So it's all new.
So it is exciting, folks. We've got a range of different models, tyre compounds, width, tread pattern. I think I'm looking forward to taking a low profile tyre to the trail centre for sure. So like I said, super happy, really excited about this partnership. Cool places, Wales and England currently. Do you ride? Well, you can't. Sorry, you can't ride your bike at the moment anyway.
No, I'm walking around the woods.
How's the knee injury coming on?
Slowly but surely, I suppose.
But you're on the turbo trainer, right?
I am on turbo quite a lot. It's the most miles I've done in years. So yeah, it's quite exciting to get building back up again.
Okay, folks, let's have a look where you've been riding recently. This is Stuart Penn, snowy days in Golspie, Scottish Highlands, Santa Cruz.
On the Valor.
Amflow on Christmas Eve over Cleve Hill, Cheltenham, Miles Greenslade.
Yeah, I'm seeing them in the public. There's quite a few around my neck of the woods, so it's interesting.
The Amflows? Yeah.
Getting out there.
And hotter places here, enjoying my backyard view of Zion National Park.
That is Rampage territory, Zion.
Hurricane. Colin Smith.
Oh, nice.
Folks, some great shots there. Nice to see old Santa Cruz Valor there. I think it is in that first shot.
Yeah.
Keep them coming, folks, and hopefully we can come and visit you sometime in the future. I suppose I better qualify that statement I made about the average downhill rider, because it comes in relation to the video that Don put out on the channel last weekend about his switch to EMBN.
I raced World Cups for 10 years, was mostly average.
And I think it's really important for everyone to realise the reason he's switching to EMBN. Come on, it's part of a riding e-bikes, right?
Got sacked from GMBN's the main reason. But actually, no, as you may have noticed if you watch GMBN, I do ride an e-bike quite a lot, and people start shouting at me on GMBN. So
yeah,
I ride, in my own time, I was on an e-bike constantly. So it's nice to be able to do it full time on EMBN.
But my point is you were never an average downhill racer.
If you took all my results, I was probably below average.
So forget the modesty for a minute, Don. You were a World Cup top 10 rider.
Not many times, Steve, but I did do it.
But you weren't average. You weren't average. So
Thank you very much for the comments as well.
there were some beautiful comments.
Lots of people saying why they were riding e-bikes as well. And it isn't, I'm not saying it's all about being injured and old, because I don't feel old, to be honest.
You look at.
I do. Maybe I do feel old. At this very moment, I do feel old. But it's more about what I love about the tech, the new style of riding that, you know, I've ridden for however many.
The tyres.
The tyres. The 30 years of riding, I've now got a new lease of life riding these bikes, doing different things, which I love.
So with that in mind, we've actually got a follow-up video on the weekend, which tackles some of the comments that followed your video. Insane comments on that
loads,
video.
yeah.
If you've got any more about the reasons that you ride an e-mountain bike, let us know in the comments on this video, and we'll tackle them on the weekend and also on next week's show.
And actually, next week as well, I am doing a video about buying a second-hand e-bike.
Oof.
Is it worth it? So that's coming up very soon as well. Right, let's get into the bike vault.
Right, so what have we got in the bike vault then? Happy New Year, bike vaulters. This is Dave McLean. He's been riding e-bikes 5 years. Been riding the e-Cano about 6 months.
Propane,
nice,
yeah.
Super nice.
The SRAM motored.
Oh, here's one for you. In a former life, that's what I used to do, is make footbridges.
Oh.
Anyway,
Very
super
good.
nice. I think it's super nice, right?
I really like that bike. Yeah, it's a great looking bike. Now, have you seen these bikes, Steve? This is Dave Tang's Axide. I don't know if that's how you say it. It's an EC297, the only legit e-mountain bike homologated for use in public. This is in Singapore.
I've not seen the Axide before.
Interesting looking bike, isn't
I'm
it?
trying to see what motor it's got on it. Has it got an EP801
I think
motor?
that's Shimano by the looks of it. Yeah,
It is, right?
It is EP8.
So go on then.
It's a good looking machine. It's obviously got Kashima all over it, and it's got, hang on, is that?
Hang on.
Well, no, it's got the Fox wireless post. And what is that rear mech? That's a SRAM GX Eagle.
Have we seen some in...
Well, no, for a second
Have we
there,
seen some in trick in
I
here?
thought I was, but actually no, it's all available to public. But it is a very trick looking bike.
Nice,
to be
super
fair.
nice.
Super nice car.
Jake, previously shown my Heckler SL. I can't actually see what bike Jake's got on this particular...
Well, there it
post.
is. It's the Heckler SL, but it has been upgraded.
Oh, right, there it is.
It's got a Bergtech cockpit, cloud saddle, Dominion, well, Hayes Dominion brakes.
A lot of Santa Cruzes on the show this week.
Yep.
170, 156 travel.
Radial Magic Mary front and
Whoosh.
radial Albert with Cushcore on the rear. Oh, good Cushcore cross country.
Super nice.
Interesting.
Super nice. And then finally we've got this hyper dipped.
Yeah.
Is that a paint
It's
job?
the peelable automotive paint. Have you seen those things where they
I've not.
they dip it into water and do this thing and it comes out
This
with
is very interesting.
it's the Fantic 189 from Peteo says just
Northern
spray it
California.
over any finish. Oh, you spray it and when you're bored of the colour, you peel it off and respray it with another hyper dip.
Joe, what do you think of the hyper dip? You into hyper dipping?
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, Joe's into hyper dipping.
I wonder if that I've done the Plazzy. Is it Plazzy dip? I've sprayed wheels on my old car and that, and you can pull it off afterwards. Must be the same stuff.
Nice, super nice.
Oh no, it's nice. I think.
It's nice. I think that's it for this week's EMBN show.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. See you next week. In between then and now, we've got, like I said, we've got two very important videos. One is the follow-up video on the Don moving to EMBN, and the other one is about, is buying a second-hand e-mountain bike worth it?
Let us know if you've ever bought a second-hand e-bike in comments as well. I'd love to know.